Today's episode is all about things that I see people doing that are literally killing, repelling your dream golden client. So I see these mostly in people when they first start working with me. And I was like, okay, I need to put this out there so people stop doing it. So if you want to hear more, oh my God, I need you. You want to have more DMs on your social media. You want to go networking and have people say, how do I work with you? This episode is for you. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ati Greenspan. I'm a personal branding coach and business strategy, and I help you, coaches and service providers, figure it out what to post, what to do on and off social media so you can consistently get clients and grow your business. Okay, so this week's episode actually stems from last week a little bit because last week we talked about creating a profitable sales system, something that you can predict and you can look at your calendar. My calendar is right there. And you can say, okay, this is what I'm working towards. And you can rinse and repeat and you can get it better and better and better. And you can tweak and you can test and you can be doing all these things. So, and you're doing them repeatedly. So you're never thinking, okay, where is my next client going to come from? You have all these, what I call the 6-figure trigger event. And what it got me thinking, because we were having these conversations inside of the academy, is okay, you still have to have amazing messaging around these trigger events because you want people to come to them. If nobody comes to your events, and again, these events, the way we do it is super customizable. These events are, there is so many ways to do it, but sometimes they're in person, sometimes they're in Zoom, sometimes they are several days, sometimes they are 1 hour. It doesn't matter. This is customizable to you, but you still need to have people to show up to these events. And in order for these people to show up to these events, we need to be talking to the right person. I'm going to say this with all the love. It doesn't matter how good you are at what you do if you cannot explain it in a way that your client is like, oh my God, yeah, I need you, right? And the simpler, usually the better. But these are the 3 things that I'm going to share with you that I guarantee you that if you're not hearing yes often, or you are feeling like you're constantly grinding to get clients and people are not coming to you, you're kind of like approaching people. It's almost like chasing, right? It's like the energy of chasing instead of you creating conversations from the value that you are providing in your content. I guarantee you that you are doing one or a combination or all of these 3 things. So, number 1 is you're talking to the wrong person. I'm going to try to explain these a little bit different. I think I spoke about this in other episodes, but this is the thing. There is a very different energy between you talking to somebody that needs what you have, that needs the solution that you provide, and a person that actually wants the solution that you provide. So what happens is when we start our businesses, hello, I am guilty of this. I have done this in the past. And actually, I have been auditing my content a ton to see where I was doing this. Sometimes we come from a place of saving, right? Of saving our people. This is like a mindset shift that we need to do, which is the fact that somebody needs what we have to offer doesn't mean that they want it. So I'm going to kind of like give you a few different scenarios to these. So, and please take this with a grain of salt. So if you're a health coach, and you see somebody that you think that they need to lose weight, there is a very different energy between you trying to convince that person and you talking to the person that is already looking for what you have. So the person that is already looking to lose weight, in my case, is the person that is already looking to have a coach, right? To have somebody that can help them create content and create predictable income and all of that. It's very different than me trying to convince somebody that they actually need a personal brand. So this distinction is so nuanced and so small, and it's so hard sometimes to see it for ourselves. So I was listening to one of my mentors a while ago talking about this, and they were saying, we look at the portion of the market that we serve, that they have the problem that we know we can solve. Now, from there is people within that market that they don't care about solving that problem. They may at some other point, but they may not care for solving that problem right now. So what is so important, and that is that you're only talking to the person that is already activated. She's already ready to take action. So if we keep going with the health example, she's already working out. She's already doing something. She's already trying to do something on her own and it's not working. So she's actively looking for help. Right. So now when they see your content, she's like, yes, yes. Oh my God. And this is where specificity actually becomes so, so, so important. Because, for example, somebody might want to lose weight, but they may not want to, for example, lift weights, right? They may want to, I don't know, I want to lose weight without working out in the gym 5 days a week, right? So this is where specificity gets to be so important, and where you need to get super freaking clear on this person. So kind of recap this number one, and why we are talking to the wrong person is because we're trying to convince over actually demonstrating our expertise, which are two completely different energies and two completely different messaging. And you never want to be on convincing messaging, ever fucking ever. Okay. So again, coming from there, number two is you're actually over explaining, and you're trying to like tell people all the things about like, well, this is how we do it and this is what we do, instead of speaking straight to their heart. Now, how do we do this? So when you're over explaining, what I tell my clients is you're beating around the bush. When you're over explaining, you're trying to kind of, again, right, like the convincing energy. But what what you're trying to do is you're kind of like going overall instead of strictly speaking to your heart. And how do you speak to their heart? Is by understanding this golden dream client, right? It's not just any client. It's not just people that need what you have. Is that person that actually, we just said, right, is already looking for a solution. What are their pains? And what are their pains? What are their desires? What is the result they are looking for? And so many times, especially if you are some sort of business coach, or if you're also on the mindset space, right? Even on the health space, we feel like we don't want to hurt people. And I think that that's coming from a place of like people pleasing, instead of us being straightforward and very specific at what it is that they are going to get when they work with us, which comes back like a lot of us. Like, I know that my program covers a lot of things that build your brand and build your business. But today, for example, I picked literally 3 things that are repelling people when you're talking to them, when you're in your content. I could be talking about so many things, but every time you show up with one piece of content or one episode, or you're having a conversation, you want to be super extra specific about what it is that you do and how you help people. So one of the things that I actually helped me was like when I was networking a lot in person, which I still do, but not as much as I did at the beginning, I used to tweak a little bit my introduction, how I was telling people who I was and what I do. And in person, this sounds a lot different than it sounds when I say it online. Because what I found is that a lot of the people that are in in-person events, usually are not the people that are online that much, right? They're using like different avenues to grow their business. And the people that are online, they are more familiar with like the messaging and content, like lingo, when the people that are going to network, they're not. So one of the things that I do all the time is when I'm networking, I tell people, well, I help women when they first start their business to promote themselves and mix networking with social media so they can have an influx of clients coming in all the time. Are you watching the podcast on YouTube? Make sure to hit subscribe and come follow us on Instagram at @ati.greenspan. And that actually seems in person to actually help them better. So for you, what is that specificity, right? Maybe is I help my clients create social media posts in 3 hours a week without any knowledge of Facebook and Instagram. I don't know. That was just an example. But the thing is, you being super freaking specific and really going straight to the heart of what you want to say instead of over explaining and saying all the things that people are like, they don't even know what you're talking about. Because one of the things that I'm going to tell you, and this comes back to like why I'm doing this episode, is you don't know what you don't know. So when I actually tell my clients that they sound convincing in their content, sometimes the nuance and the change in the words is so small and so slightly that they're like, but that sounds kind of the same. However, it doesn't. And this comes back again to you understanding their problem and understanding how this problem is showing up for them. My mentor talk about this also, which is sometimes we're trying to tell people we're going to change your life, we're going to do all the things for you, and that person, all they want right now in this very moment is to learn how to post on fucking Instagram, right? Or that person, like for me, my clients come to me and they're like, I'm so freaking confused, I have no idea what to do every day. So a lot of the times we start with that daily income producing activities, and I give them a list and I'm like, you have to do this every single day. And then we breaking down in them learning and getting better to do every single one of them. But we give them that clarity because people are lost and they don't know why they don't have enough clients. They see other people doing it, they know they're amazing at what they do, but they don't understand what is happening that they're not getting the results. So you don't know what you don't know. So looking at your content and auditing and really writing down what are the phrases that you are using to describe your services, what are the phrases that you are using to describe what is it that you do, is key. Because again, it doesn't matter how good you are, but if you cannot express that and people don't know how you're going to help them, this is not about them understanding you. This is about you understanding them. Okay. This is key, you guys. Your people is not their job to understand you. It's your job to figure out what are the words and what are the things that stop them in their track. And you do that through doing market research, to talking to your person, to really listening and testing. And I think this is where a lot of people get really scared because they're like, well, I'm going to go on social media and I'm going to put something and I'm going to hear crickets because that's all you've been hearing. But this is the thing. Usually your dream ideal client, your golden client, that person that is the perfect fit for what you have to offer, that person is usually not overly commenting. That person is usually not overly like, oh yeah, here. They might slide in your DMs when they're ready. And when they see truly what it is, the problem that they have, and they see you as an expert, that they are that, like an authority, that you are going to be able to help them with that problem. Okay. So again, I want you to understand the difference between somebody needing what you have and wanting what you have. So there is a lot more to it. Like there is a saying that we always say inside the academy that is like you want to sell them what they want and you want to give them what they need. Now, the health thing doesn't apply here, but in business a lot of the times we know as coaches when we look at people's business that they're lacking foundations, right? They're lacking clarity, maybe their offers are off or they don't go with one another. However, people are going to come to your business through that one thing that is top of mind for them. What is the one thing that is the threat, right? That is going to, if they come in here, then you can also give them everything else that they're going to need to actually get the results that you promised them. But you have to be able to learn to communicate your service value with the words that they identify. And this is done through market research. This is done through conversation. This is done through testing. Okay. And if you are not willing to test and you're not willing to actually put that work out there, you're not going to be the person that grows that brand to 6 figures, right? You know that you're here to change people's lives. This is part of what is required for you to do that. Being able to master how you explain people what it is that you do in a way that it catches their attention. Those two are mostly for content and they apply also for networking. But I wanted to also talk about sometimes what are you focusing on when you are putting things in place in your business. And I was talking with one of my biz besties today, who is my website designer. And she was saying, we call these procrasti branding, which is sometimes people are spending so much time on creating, let's say that you're creating your 6-figure trigger event, right? And this is actually a client of mine that she is creating a 3-day workshop. And she was like, well, I don't have time right now to focus on my ideal client because I need to do the Canva slides and I need to make sure that takes so much time. And I was like, whoa, let's stop right there. And this is what a lot of you are doing by delaying testing, by delaying doing market research, by delaying being upfront and going straight to the heart. You are delaying your success because this is the thing. You don't need the super pretty Canva like graphics. You don't need the super pretty, they're nice to have. But for example, in this particular example of my client, she can have a Google Doc that is her workbook, right? This is her first 6-figure trigger event. What is important is that when she is promoting this event sounds enticing to the people that she wants to serve. It doesn't matter how pretty her Canva graphics are if nobody shows up. Does this make sense to you? So number 3 is basically you're focusing on the wrong things in your business. Are you focusing on speaking straight to the heart of your people? Are you focusing on the daily activities that you need to be doing to bring money, to bring clients? Content brings conversation. Networking brings conversation. You putting those together. I don't know if you're familiar with my cycle of content, but when you are networking and you are creating content and then you're going to follow up with people, now you're creating your own fucking algorithm, right? So are you focusing on the right things in your business? When we are talking about this golden ideal client, right? Those people, they are out there right now. These are people that they will pay money to solve their problem. These are people that they're actively, constantly thinking about this. And then when you nail it, I want you to think about those TV commercials, the infomercials that used to be late at night, that they were super fucking cheesy. But why did we watch them? Because they literally were talking about like, oh, do you want to get a 6-pack without working on the gym every day, all day for a year? Literally, they were speaking to the person that was lazy. That person was lazy. She was sitting in the couch. She didn't want to go to the gym in the morning. Guess what? Because the people that were doing the work, they were sleeping already at that time because they were going to get up to go to a gym. You understanding your ideal client and speaking straight to their heart is your number one job, especially if you are not getting as many clients as you want. One of the things that I want to leave you with is, in order for you to find these words, you want to be talking to them. Like, I want you to match your words with what are they saying? How are they describing their problem? Now, I'm going to tell you, this sounds a lot easier said than done, because people articulate in different ways. People have different experiences. But when you start realizing what those experiences are, so I'm going to actually describe one. For the longest time, I heard this from clients, and I remember having this experience myself. I would sit in front of the computer. I'm like, okay, I'm going to create content. Here I go. And then I'm like, what am I talking about? What do I want to post about? Because I didn't have clarity on who my golden dream client was, what their problems were, where did they needed education and like belief shifting content, not convincing, but belief shifting content that was speaking to the person that was already ready to fix their problem. Because the nuance is so nuanced that I actually find myself constantly kind of going back. It's so easy to fall back and talk to the person that actually has the problem, but there is none necessarily looking for the solution right away. For me, right now, and for you in 2025, if you want to focus on one thing that is like literally stop repelling the client that is actually ready to say yes to you. Stop repelling the person that is fucking ready to buy, because for that person, she needs to hear those magic words, the magnetic words that literally is how she is describing her problem. How is she thinking about her problem? How is she journaling about her problem? This shift, you guys, had made my job and my work so much easier. Now, I'm going to tell you, it takes work and it takes time and it takes resilience for you to test. But then once you do it, you have it forever, because what works, you can repeat. What doesn't work, you can toss, right? So I hope that this actually help you to understand what are the three things that you're probably doing. Probably no, I am sure you're doing them because I see them all the time. So I have two episodes that I kind of want to refer you to, because I think they're going to give you so much more perspective on these. One is episode 26, which is content versus visibility. Okay. And then I believe it is episode 43, which is 10x your visibility and 10x your results. But this is the thing. Same that with the 6-figure trigger event, everything comes down to how are you explaining what you are doing and how specific you are when you are calling in these clients, the golden dream client that we want to be talking to, the person that is ready and willing to solve their problem, do the work, and actually pay you. So I hope that this episode was helpful, because I always have a 6-figure trigger event myself, and I have a few things going on. So number one, today's January 15th. This episode is going to come out, I believe, Friday morning, which is going to be January 17th. So if you listen to this episode before then, I have something that I am hosting Wednesday 22nd. I'm not going to tell you what. You're going to have to go on Instagram and DM me secret, and I will send you the information. This is for you if you want to be attracting clients from every conversation, from every post. We are going to talk all about this. However, if you are watching this or listening to this after that date, I want you to go to @greenspan.com, bank, brand to bank, www.greenspan.com, brand to bank. If you're listening to this after those dates, I am hosting a brand to bank accelerator February 24th. This is a 5-day experience with me. It's going on sale, I believe, next week. So I'm going to drop the link here in the show notes for you to join us for 5 days to learn how to master, how to attract clients that say yes, how to attract the right clients, how to actually create predictable sales in your business throughout the year, and to actually grow your brand through the process. Instead of like saying, oh, when I do this, that will happen. We are going to grow your brand as we go. I'm going to tell you, this is how I grew my business to $1 million in the last 6 years. This is how I created multiple 6-figure years over and over and over and over. And I am showing you all the secrets on the Brand to Bank Accelerator, February 24th. So you have several things to do. Go check out those podcast episodes that I gave you, episode 26 or episode 43. If you're watching on YouTube, we're going to put them on the end card. And I'll see you on the Brand to Bank Accelerator, February 24th. And if you want to come to something secret that I am doing next week, DM me secret on Instagram. I love you, and I'll see you next week.